Hi everyone, we're here with Verena Eberhardt and we're going to talk about her career as a track cyclist. She's a multiple-time national Austrian track champion, and you said you were second in the World Cup last year, and what else was it? What was the other result?
I had a silver medal at the European Games last year as well.
Silver in Europeans is really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So how'd you get into track cycling?
So I was getting into cycling overall over a family, that is still very much involved in that area where I come from. And the winters were pretty cold in Austria, so the only way to really train on a bike sometimes was going to Vienna, which was back then 1.5 hours from my parents' place, and going 1.5 hours back. But it was worth those 3 hours in the car to spend some time on the track, and I really liked it.
Definitely, yeah, and it seems to have paid off well.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's a fun discipline. That's kind of a weird little niche, so it's always fun to hear how people get into it.
Yeah, true.
Nice. So you've got a World coming up in a week or two?
Yeah, 2 weeks. It's World Championships.
World Championships, nice. And what are your goals with that?
Yeah, every time you turn up at the World Championships, you're hoping to get one of those medals, or
of
you're
course.
always fighting for the rainbow jersey.
Oh, definitely.
Even though, with me, I'm definitely not one of the favorites. Not of the highest contenders. So I think how I could win is just having that outsider role and maybe being in that right attack, and just, sometimes you're lucky. You just have to have the perfect day and everything needs to come together.
Oh, definitely. And one thing Andy's saying is about empower the underdog. Kind of fits that really well.
Yeah.
Is there a specific event you're expecting to do best in?
I like the points race.
Points race?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a tactical one.
Tactical one, yeah. And you could gain laps, and I might not be the most sprintiest person, so I would rather like to take laps than always go for the sprints, and that's why the points race is also suiting me more than a scratch race, where it sometimes ends up being like a big Kieran final.
Oh, yeah, endurance speeds are getting way up there these days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, you guys are almost to sprint level speeds. It's crazy, but you can do it for 100 laps.
Yeah, we have averages of more than 50 km per hour, and points of scratch race. Sometimes it's very, very impressive how it developed in the last years.
Nice. So how'd you end up in Colorado Springs for training?
So I've started to train with Andy as a coach a couple of months ago, and then he offered the opportunity to come here and train, prepare before the World Cup in Milton afterwards, and yeah, it seemed like a perfect idea, and so far it really paid off. And
awesome.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah, how has it been training with those two? Because they both have a really good reputation and have pulled off a lot of really good results with pretty minimal support. So how's that been? Yeah,
it's really great. I'm really proud that I have them as a coach, and I think they can, or Andy could definitely bring me a level further, and you always try as hard as you can for training, and of course there's no magic formula. Also Andy is saying it's about continuously just always working hard and being consistent over that. And in the end it's gonna pay off as long as you just keep on working harder.
So what would you have for tips for riders that are looking to kind of take the same route you have as far as being a professional track cyclist?
What I would always say to kids or younger people that get into the sports, that just have fun, and I would always recommend not to have a training plan too early, so maybe just go out, try to find some friends that have the same interests, and being in a group is always much nicer than riding all alone, because it's just mentally really tiring then.
Yeah,
and I do believe that if you do the thing with passion and love, then you will be able to do it for a long time, because I saw within this time I'm cycling, it's almost 10 years now, I saw so many people and friends stopping and quitting cycling because they just were too professional too early. So of course it's nice to win in the junior ranks or something, but it's not for me personally, it was never the major goal. For me, it was important to do it longer, and I'm slowly growing. I'm definitely not the greatest talent, but I think everyone can do it. And yeah, that's why I think just having fun and enjoying also the way to the top, because it will not come from one day to the other, even though there
Yeah.
might be a lot of talents out there. But
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot of that where young kids, worlds of talent, and burn out super easy. So
Yeah,
I'm right there
indeed.
with you.
Yeah, sometimes it's the age of, I don't know, 18 or something, when they get out of school, then
Yeah.
they feel like not orientated anymore, and then,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a shame sometimes.
Yeah, and it's a very brutal sport, so
Yeah.
you've got to love it.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
You need to love that sort of suffering and training to a certain amount.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's nothing easy about this path.
Yeah.
But it's a satisfying one for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, it's still, track cycling has a lot of sprint components, so of course you have to have some fast twitch muscles for
Yeah.
that, but it's still a big part endurance if you want to go to points race omniums and that sort of things.
Oh,
And that you can all train, so you know,
yeah,
you can get better within time.
definitely. Yeah. And do you do much on the road as well, or is it just for training?
Oh, I do quite a lot on the road, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I had some international road teams in the past years, and I took 2 years off that, so I will have a Belgian team again this year, which is only like a small club team, but they will give me the opportunity to do some UCI road races as well. And I think road races to definitely make you harder and stronger on the track as well.
Especially with Belgians.
Yeah, cobbles and going fast, wind and cold.
It'll make you a very tough person for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean it's crazy. Sometimes I've been there for 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks I've raced, I don't know, maybe 10 days or something, and out of those 10
Oh.
days, 7 or 8 days were rainy. So
Sounds about
you
right.
could have that, yeah.
There's a reason those guys are so tough. Nice.
Sure.
So yeah, going back to World Championships, what do you think's gonna be the hardest thing for you to overcome? Is there like a specific part you struggle with that you're working on, or?
I definitely need to work on my sprint numbers, so they're not as high as they could or should be, let's say it like that. I think I've quite a good repetition of sprints, so that means, I mean, I could go more often, but not like peaking, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So, I mean, that's nothing that will come in those 2
Yeah.
weeks before Worlds now. It's nothing that I can change about right now. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be very tough. I think it's gonna be the hardest World Championships I've ever done, because it's the Olympic year.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no doubt about the fact that it's gonna be fast.
Oh no doubt. And yeah, speeds today are just so insane from even a few years ago. It's
Yeah.
unreal. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough one, but it should go well. It should be fun.
Yeah. I mean, not only speeds, but with the higher speeds, the gears are also going up. So
Mhm.
like you're going really massive gears sometimes, which
Yeah.
you would never believe some, years ago.
Oh yeah, and I could imagine with all the tech involved, I'm sure it's a lot more difficult to do well tactically too, because I'm sure everyone has a really good understanding of that.
Yeah.
And you can make a lot of improvements there. It's not easy.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, all the big countries, I'm sure they have video analysis, and they will just watch videos all over and over, and they might know exactly which rider is doing, which,
Yeah.
okay, we can guess that, and we always try to adapt, but yeah, of course, it's very interesting where it all goes with track cycling.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a fun sport to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as far as your career, has there been anything that's kind of kept you driven? Because again, the sport's really, really difficult. Is it just the passion for the sport, or somebody get you really in love with it, or what kind of keeps you going?
Yeah, overall, I mean, I definitely like the feeling of speed and just pushing myself to the limit. I'm a very competitive person, so I couldn't even imagine to be without competition. I mean, I would make out of the most ridiculous things some competition, and yeah, that's what drives me, and overall, I mean, within the years you just also get to know a lot of people that you're getting very close friends with, and that's also very nice to be part of some community, of course.
Oh yeah.
Even though, of course, majorly what drives me is getting on the stage on the World Championships or making it to the Olympics.
Nice.
So yeah, that's my big dreams, and I still want to fight for that.
Nice. Is it looking good for 2020?
No, it
No,
does not.
tough.
No, no. Unfortunately, I'm the first reserve for the Omnium in the World Championships, and that means if you don't have points from World Championships, there is no way I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
I mean, that was tough to realize, but I mean, I found peace with it, and I just know for the future I have to work harder, or there's still a lot to come, and 2024 is the goal, I guess.
Yeah, you're still definitely young enough to chase 2024.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
this will be a good learning experience for sure.
Indeed.
Nice.
And I mean, it's those things that really drive you or that motivate you are the times when you're on the podium and when you know it paid off. Like last year was definitely my best season so far.
Oh, good.
With the silver medal in the World Cup and the European Games. That was really
That's
great.
really good.
And that also keeps you like motivated. I want this again. I want this feeling again to ride over the finish line and know, oh my God, I have a medal.
Oh yeah.
I'm stepping on the stage, you know.
Yeah, and the European Games, that's not an easy one to get a medal in either. There's some good competition there.
Yeah, that's true.
Nice. Yeah, so I know you've been hanging out with Sarah Hammer a lot. Any good tips from her, race advice, things like that you've picked up?
Yeah, I mean, she seemed to be a little bit from the way of thinking different rider than I, like the way she got motivated into races and stuff. So, I mean, it was very interesting, any conversation we had about either race tactics or, I was very privileged to be able to spend quite some time with her in the last couple of weeks.
Nice.